Welcome to the Rookie SDR Show, where we talk to leaders within the tech industry who are making an impact. Here's your host, Franklin Albanus.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Rookie SDR Show. Let me just tell you something. Whenever you're traveling, whether you're doing business, whether you're backpacking across Latin America, North America, or Asia, or just traveling in general, sometimes you meet amazing people, but at times you are just kind of wanting to go out and do different activities that maybe they don't want to do. Well, guess what? The other day, after searching, I found this amazing app called the Nomadtable. And here today, I have this special guest that's going to tell us the story of how the idea came about and what he's currently doing. Jay, welcome to the Rookie SDR Show. How you doing today?
I'm good. Yeah, appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Jay, so just where are you based right now currently?
Yeah, so for the past 3 years, I've been based in San Francisco, but a couple of weeks after launching the app, I've just been kind of traveling, I just kind of wanted to get myself back in the shoes of my target audience. So, yeah, I was in Portugal for about like a month hopping around, then I was in Morocco for like a week, and I've been in Spain for about, I think, 2 weeks now. So, yeah.
Nice. I'm in Spain right now too, so maybe whenever you're in Madrid, let's definitely meet up.
Yeah, for sure. I'm in Valencia right now, but yeah, if I'm ever there, I'll let you know for sure.
Your story is really really cool because like I saw that you grew so fast within 2 months of just like launching the app, over 30,000 and plus users, and wow, that's really cool. But I sort of just want to understand a little bit, like, like how did it all started, like in your career, like how did it begin and how did you come up with the idea of the Nomad Table?
Yeah. So actually like 55K now. But yeah, no, growth has been super cool. But yeah, just on how I got started. I graduated from college about like 3.5 years ago. And no, 4 years ago, yeah. And since then, I've been just working at Amazon as a software engineer. And yeah, I did software in school, and yeah, it was cool. It was a like cozy big tech job, comfortable, had like a good paycheck and all that. But I'd always enjoyed solo traveling in my time off from work. I did it like once, and I kind of just fell in love with it. The thing I kind of liked the most was like the people I met. I was met some really cool people, and that's what kind of made the trips for me. So. And then on my last trip last year, I had a kind of a bad hostel. I mean, it wasn't like bad, but it was just kind of unsocial, and that was kind of disappointing for me because I like to socialize in hostel. That's why I stay in hostels. And yeah, I just thought it would be nice to have a way to meet people when traveling that didn't rely on a hostel. Even if I wanted to stay somewhere nice, like an Airbnb or a hotel, it would be nice to have just some option that didn't rely on a hostel to meet people. And I didn't really know of any way to do that without staying in a hostel. So yeah, that's how I kind of got the idea. I just was like, what if I could just make something that wherever you go, whether it's a hostel or not, if you want to stay in a hotel, Airbnb, whatever, on the side of the road, like whatever you want to do, you have some way to still meet people. So yeah, that was kind of my initial vision, and I did some kind of validation of the idea and stuff. And once I kind of had some confidence that it could work, I quit my job and just full sent it. I just committed, and yeah.
No, that's just really really great overview. But like, I'm just like curious, like because you were like you were working for a very established company, and like what made you like and say like, hey, you know what, like it's time for me to go before you go solo. Like it's like I need something different. Like what made you like switch, especially right now in this market right now, in tech. What was that decision breaking point where like, okay, here goes, like I'm gonna try something new, and and how did you get the confidence to do that actually?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I mean, yeah, definitely I quit in like a bit of a bad market, and like yeah, I'm like my manager and like my skip manager at work were like it's kind of a bad time to do this, and I was like, yeah, no. But I don't know, I just got the idea, and In the past before that, I'd gotten like lots of startup ideas. I had a little like note in my notes app on my phone that I just wrote stuff in. I think a lot of people do that, but yeah, I just I just seen like over the years like lots of the ideas that I had just being done by others, and like it just kind of just pissed me off when that happened. And I got this idea, and like I think it was the first one that I was like really passionate about, because I mean I'd gotten stuff in the past that like I'd be like, oh, this would be a good idea, but like I guess doesn't really align with my interest per se. But this one like really aligned with my interest, and like I had just gotten back from a solo trip too, so it was very fresh in my head. And yeah, I mean I kind of just felt like it was a good time to take a risk. I feel like I'm pretty confident in my skills, and I figured that worst case, if everything didn't work out, I could always go back and get a job in big tech again. Might be a little bit harder in this market, but I think I could do. I'm pretty confident in like my ability. So I figured like it'd be good to take a risk, and it's a good time because I mean I have no family, I have no girlfriend, nothing that ties me down really. So I think it's a really good time in my life to take risks. And yeah, I think I could just always go back to my regular life if I wanted to. And yeah, I think also, remember I saw something that was like saying it's almost kind of risky to not take risks and get complacent, because then like you kind of are missing out on so much. And I didn't want to like live my life and then think back and be like, oh, like what if I did that? What if I did that? Like I don't want to live like that. I just wanted to try this out and see what happens. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least I know that I saw it through.
For sure. And like in the tech side of things, like was it like did you have to spend a lot of time into building the infrastructure at first, or like how did that go about whenever you were building this in the beginning?
Yeah, so I mean, I am like a software engineer by trade, and I was kind of doing full stack app development anyways at Amazon. So I definitely do have experience with like app building. That being said, like I never built like a full app from from like scratch before, so it was a bit new to me. I mean, I'd never like done the process of like releasing an app on the App Store, the Play Store, and you know all that stuff was what was a bit new. But I think especially nowadays with AI, it was a lot easier, and like I'm definitely super blessed that I started to build this app right when lots of kind of like new AI coding tools are coming out. So that was super helpful. I mean, I know how to code for sure, but like being able to use like the help of AI to just do like a lot of the kind of like low level just like stuff that you don't want to do and that just takes up time. That's like easy, but just takes up time was super nice. But yeah, I mean, I have experience in that, so that honestly wasn't the hard part really.
So like is this isn't my table here, but like was it like by any chance do you were you using React Native and Firebase like or something similar to that, like kind of like influence the speed and the scale a bit?
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I used. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned AI, so a lot of people like even like software engineers are like, AI is not gonna take over, which I 100% agree. Right? It just makes I feel like in a sense things more easier, especially in the admin task. But like, how did you approach AI in this case scenario when you're building this app, and like how did it help you?
Yeah, so I mean, like I was saying, I mean, I have a background in app building, but like I don't know everything, obviously. So there's lots of tools out there. What I used was this tool called Cursor. It's pretty much like an IDE, which is kind of like an environment where you kind of just write code in. And basically, I could just have this little like chat window where you can just highlight code and just like open up a little chat window and like just ask it questions, be like, hey, like. I have a bug in this code, like this sign up isn't working, like can you see what's wrong and fix it? Or you can just like open up a brand new page and just describe exactly what you want it to do. Like, hey, make me a beautiful like login screen that like has design elements of this, take inspiration from like, I don't know, like Airbnb, like Uber, like on this screen. And you can even like paste in like screenshots and stuff of like other apps and be like, hey, like I kind of like how this is designed like, could you take some inspiration from this? Like, don't copy it exactly, but take some inspiration from this and make it fit my theme. So it just will give you a really good base of code to work off of, and you can kind of just take it yourself from there. It does make mistakes from like time to time, so that's why it's helpful to kind of like have that coding background. It'll also just write code that's not very efficient from time to time, and without kind of understanding, the kind of principles of like kind of software and like how algorithms work, you can miss those and end up with some super high server bills. So it definitely helps to have that kind of background.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like you mentioned earlier, when I said 30,000 users, now it's almost it's 55 you mentioned.
Yeah.
So like my thing is like growing something so fast, and then I feel like what was the strategy behind it, and what gave you like the lift like early on?
Yeah, so software was what kind of like that's kind of like what I knew, but like I had like no idea about marketing, so that was just like something that I had to learn. I kind of just started off by looking at what other kind of like similar like consumer applications were doing and like how they were marketing. Luckily, like I'm pretty active on Twitter, and like there's a really good community on there for kind of like consumer people that are like making those apps, and I kind of just luckily followed the right people and like got like kind of knowledge about the strategies to use and stuff. So, I mean, I did my marketing pretty much all on TikTok and Instagram, just kind of like organic. So basically just like trying to go viral. And yeah, just with kind of like a mix of seeing what others were doing and just kind of like adding some of my own creativity. And also like, I'm like Gen Z, like I I scroll on TikTok and Reels and stuff, like so that helps a lot too because I know how my target audience talks. I know what they look like. I understand their problems because I am the target audience. So I think having that very deep understanding of my audience and also just being Gen Z, and I know how to talk like Gen Z. I know how to like make TikToks that will like catch their eyes and stuff, and like use like lingo that they'll like understand. I think that helped like so much because it's really easy for me to make content that I know will stop someone from scrolling on TikTok or Instagram that's in my target audience.
Well, it sure did like stop me like from doing everything and then just meeting these amazing people. And by the way, there was like a lot of these individuals that I met, they're the same age gap, but a lot of them are millennials. So like kudos to you on that whole marketing aspect of it. But like one thing that I always wonder, like what is the most unexpected way users have used the app itself so far? Any surprising behavior or stories?
Yeah, I mean, like, to be honest, I wasn't that surprised by this. I kind of saw it coming, but like, there's definitely some people that just try to use the app as like a dating app. Um, and yeah, like there's just like it's mostly guys, like as expected, but like there's sometimes just like there's just guys that will like DM like just like 10 girls like right after they get the app, and yeah, like it's like against like my term or like the kind of community guidelines to do that. So most of the time, if I see someone just like using it strictly like that, I'll just ban them because it's just not what the app's for, and also it makes a lot of like the women users like uncomfortable because they didn't get the app as like a dating app. So that's like definitely one thing that I've seen. I mean, like if someone meets like goes to activity and finds their wife, like amazing. I'd be happy, but I don't want users just to be DMing others like "Hi, beautiful" and stuff. That's not what this app is for. There's plenty of other options for that out there.
No, and Jay, that's really awesome early on, like catching that and like you implementing that really quickly, right? That's like I think that's amazing. So like moving to this question is like uh, what users concern around safety or privacy push you to kind of like build new features out and like of course right now your address you the way you addressing them is like you sort of like kicking them out, banning them from the app itself, but like in the near future, what type of features do you think like you will implement?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think definitely like I've tried to have strong messaging ever on social media in the app to like, always, you know, stay and meet in like a public place with people around. I think that's like probably the most important thing with, I guess, not even just my app, like any kind of app, like you're gonna meet someone online. If it's like a dating app or like my app or like whatever, you should never like meet someone in like a private place without people around, because then that's just really dangerous. So I think that's like the number one safety thing to do, and I think if you do that, I think prevents like 99% of things that could go wrong. Of course, it doesn't prevent everything, and there's always stuff that can happen regardless of how kind of safe you are. But yeah, I kind of have those safety guidelines, like, that's like probably the biggest one. Also, kind of like be in control of your transportation, like don't take rides from people and be able to leave at any point. And also, like, if there's drinks involved, like, just cover it, like, just watch your drink, make sure no one's like gonna be able to put stuff like in your drink and that kind of stuff. But as far as like platform features, so because kind of like, some guys using the app as a dating app, like I was saying, I did add an option to like only receive DMs from friends. So that way, like, if someone didn't want to just get a bunch of DMs, they could put that option on. And also for women, I'm gonna add some stuff in like the near future, I think, for the option to make like activities that only women can join, and also the option to like only receive DMs from like other women as well. So I think that should hopefully address some, because yeah, I think definitely some women on the app like feel more comfortable only meeting up with other women. So definitely want to provide that functionality for them to be able to do that.
Wow, that's amazing. And like you have this amazing energy. Like you're like it seems like you're running 100 miles, kilometers an hour. Um, you know, but as a solo founder that you are currently right now, what would you say is what's been the toughest part of building solo, and how do you keep your, that energy, that momentum going day to day?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely like tough, but like, I mean, I'm very passionate about the idea and like I really like it. So, working doesn't really feel like I'm working. It's just kind of like just my life now. It's like this is like this thing that I brought into the world, and now it's just my baby, Like it's not really work. It's like what I love to do. So I do really enjoy it. And as far as just like being able to do so much stuff at once, not getting burnt out. It's also kind of nice that I have so many different responsibilities, because I mean, if I just like code for like 10 hours straight, it's pretty boring, and like it gets like to the point where like it's just annoying. But it's nice to be able to just kind of like context switch between like, doing like marketing stuff and coding, dealing with moderation, even though it kind of sucks most of the time. But it's nice to be able to switch gears like that, because once I get sick of something, like being able to pivot to like a new kind of like if I'm sick of coding, being like go to marketing in that state like is really nice, and it's like a breath of fresh air, and just being able to change that context makes it pretty easy to not burn out.
Yeah, so having sort of like those different types of routines, kind of mixing it up like day to day, I feel like it kind of keeps you in as well like focus as well, but at the same time like keeping moving, right? Kind of like uh, kind of keeping interactive just by doing different things. That's really cool. And as a salesperson, me like and the salespeople that will listen to this, like for example, like in the near future, if someone was to approach someone like you with the talent, whatever, to like sell you a software or a tech or any tech stack, how would you like to be approached? Right? You mentioned earlier, like you're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, but like as a person that will someone you might need a software or a service, like what would be the best way to interact with you in a sense, and what type of messaging would you like to receive?
You're asking if someone wants to come up to me and like,
Try to
oh,
sell you like a tool, like a tech stack or something like that. Like in
um, if someone wants to try to sell me a text, I'd probably just say like make it really clear as to what the benefit my business will be getting is, and just like show me exactly like what I'd be getting, and maybe even let me use whatever you're trying to sell me for like a little bit, and like if it's so good that I use it and like it benefits me that much, I'll for sure keep using it. I mean, because that'll just, I mean, yeah, if you get me in a habit of using a really good product for like a month, I'm gonna want to use it like consistently. So yeah.
Amazing. And with so many different products, so many different apps out there and stuff, a lot of them sort of like just start out and they kind of like just get to a certain level and they stop there. But for you, like, what is your long-term vision for Nomad Table? Community-led, growth, events, monetization, or something else?
Yeah, I get asked this question a lot. I mean, I'm just kind of taking stuff day by day. I mean, the kind of adventure, the kind of initial vision that I had for Nomad Table, like, is still the same. I mean, I just kind of wanted to make an app that wherever you go, travel in the world, like, you'll always have some people to hang out with and, share some cool experiences with. And that's kind of like still what it is. That's kind of what it's always been. And yeah, I mean, I think I just want to grow the app and keep growing it to just make it even more consistent for finding connections while traveling and, just make it a very safe environment as well. Just having lots of trust and that like, if you meet someone on the app, it'll be safe. And yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be my vision. And, once we get there, then we'll see if I want to expand that vision or not. But I'm kind of just focused on that. I kind of just take stuff one thing at a time. Yeah.
No, that is amazing. And one last thing that I always ask everyone is like, you coming from, a software engineer background and starting your own thing now and seeing where, Nomad Table goes. I see the potential grow at like with, in so many case scenarios, but like what would you be your messaging to upcoming like software developers, engineers, or people that just want to get into tech, or even to that person that's like, that doesn't know if they want to go and take a leap and be like, hey, I want to start my own thing? What would be your message?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would just say in life you just gotta take risks. I mean, or I think you should take risks. It's pretty easy to get complacent and like whatever you're doing, like if you have a good thing going and because I mean, I guess at least software engineers out there, like in like the US at least, most of the time you make like a really good paycheck, and if you just kind of just chill and coast in that role, like you can definitely retire by and like relatively early. Which I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like I think it's a good idea, and you can retire early, and that gives you lots of freedom in life. But I don't know. For me, like I think when you're young and stuff like this, and you can take risks, I think it's really good to at least try something. I think losing like a year or two of your professional experience in like your 20s is totally okay, and it's good to go experiment out there and like try something. I mean, I'm not trying to like push people into being like a founder, like, but if you have an idea and like you kind of like have thought about something that you think would be cool to do, but like you're scared to do it, just I think you should just think about it and see the risk in not doing it, because then imagine in 10 years you're gonna look back and be like, oh, like shoot, like what if I did that, what would have happened, like at least for me, like I really hate doing that, and like I hate like having to regret things, and I think it's better to at least try and fail than to just not try at all. And you can always go back to your normal job, like people, I mean, especially if you're a good employee and like you've been working for a couple of years, like people will want you back for sure. So I would say just take the risk. Yeah.
Amazing words, amazing words. Take the risk. And if anyone wants to get in contact with you, what will be the best way to get a hold of you, or how can people reach out to you?
Yeah, you can email me at j@nomadtable.app. It's like on the website. You can Instagram DM me. There's also a button in the app and settings called Message the Founder. You can message me in the app if you want. Yeah, I'll try my best to get back. I mean, lots of inbound stuff for sure, so I might reply a little late, but I'll try my best for sure. So, yeah.
Amazing. Any final words?
Nah, thanks man for having me. I appreciate it. It's my first time being on a podcast, so no, thanks for the invite, and yeah, appreciate it.
No, it's been an amazing chat. I learned a lot from you, and yeah, thank you for being here as well. Well, guys, this was an amazing episode, and like there's more episodes to come. It was a pleasure, Jay, to have you here. And if anybody wants to get in contact with him, I'll make sure I'll put all the details and information there for you guys to get a hold of him. And try out Nomad Table. It's a really cool app. It's a really cool experience to meet everyone from different parts of the world. And yeah, and like he says, take the risk.
Yep, do it.
Have a good one.
Bye.